It's an app with more than 170 million users in the United States, and it's set to go dark in 2 days. It is our top story here at noon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brooke Hash. Just hours ago, the Supreme Court decided to uphold that congressional TikTok ban. ABC's Christiane Cordero explains what's next.
They're going to take away TikTok.
The latest TikTok challenge, its own survival in the U.S. The Supreme Court today unanimously upheld a federal ban passed by Congress, putting TikTok on track to be phased out in just 2 days.
The Supreme Court said that this is not about First Amendment, this is not a violation, and that there is an interest in which the government does have in protecting its citizens and its data, and this law does stand.
The decision impacts some 170 million Americans who use the app and content creators like Jennifer Gay who make a living from it.
TikTok is the only platform that truly pays creators of all sizes a living wage.
The bipartisan law passed last year banned TikTok unless its Chinese owner sells the company, citing a national security threat. The law threatens to fine tech companies like Apple, Google, and Oracle if they keep offering downloads, software updates, and data storage for TikTok. Defiant TikTok users are now downloading alternative Chinese-owned apps like RedNote, which exploded in popularity this week.
Hello, TikTok refugees from the U.S. Welcome to RedNote.
U.S. intelligence officials warn that app could pose an even greater security risk. Unlike TikTok, which is headquartered in Singapore, RedNote is available both inside and outside China. The Biden White House says it will be up to the Trump administration to enforce the law. TikTok CEO is scheduled to attend President-elect Trump's inauguration next week. Sources tell ABC News Trump's team is discussing options to try and save the app, a reversal from his 2020 promise to ban it. A presidential executive order could delay the ban 60 to 90 days, but only under strict conditions showing TikTok will cut ties with its Chinese owner ByteDance. There haven't been clear signs that is happening. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
And President-elect Trump has said that he would negotiate a solution to this ban, but it's unclear what he could do once inaugurated on Monday. Last year, the state of Kentucky filed a lawsuit against TikTok, calling it addictive and harmful to kids' mental health. TikTok has long denied those claims. 12:02 almost here on this Friday. We've made it to the weekend. Nice and dry outside for the time being, Sam.
Yeah, nice and dry, Brooke. We have seen temperatures been cruising their way well into the 30s and actually hitting 40 degrees now in the metro, as we have seen that thermometer reading update right at noon in Jefferson County. Down to the south where there's no snowpack underway, temperatures have been into the low 50s so far towards Bowling Green and Hopkinsville. And again, as we're concerned here to the north, notice as well in Indiana, there's a good solid amount of snow still on the ground, so that will be inhibiting temperatures to the north. So overall, a quick look at our viewing area and how we are faring. Keep in mind, temperatures a bit warmer to the south where there's not as much snowpack on the ground. We're at 39 in Carrollton right now and sitting 40 in Louisville. So we're actually going to be seeing temperatures stay above freezing for the next 18 hours, something a much deserved break from that cold spell that we've seen so far this month. We have 50 into the forecast right around 4 p.m. today. We'll see how much warming we get done. But in the meantime, we're also talking about the chance for rain after we deal with today's warm up in the sunshine. There's a developing storm system to the southwest of us, and with time, it'll be a bit of a rainy, wet night ahead of us, especially lingering into the first half of your Saturday. Don't go anywhere. I'm letting you know about the rain chances into Saturday afternoon after we see some rainfall throughout the morning hours to kick off the weekend coming up.
Sam, thank you. 4 parents have dropped their federal lawsuit against JCPS. They'd accused the district of violating the civil rights of students. The lawsuit was filed last summer, originally claiming cuts to transportation for magnet and traditional schools disproportionately affected students of color. The parents had hoped the court would intervene before the start of the school year, and that didn't happen. One of those parents talked to us about how the transportation cuts affected her 10-year-old son, forcing him to switch schools mid-year.
I'm doing what I can as a mother, but the system has definitely let us down when it comes to school and his education.
JCPS Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio said the district's transportation cuts were a response to a major bus driver shortage, which he explained was the only way to get students to school on time and avoid missed instruction. In December, Polio told us that he hopes to make a recommendation to the JCPS board sometime this month to restore bus routes for at least some of those families who lost it. Leaders in Henry County, Kentucky just agreed to change their ambulance service in a move they say will save them thousands of dollars. Services will now come from a private ambulance service, AmeriPro. The county has been using Baptist Health, but the county's judge executive said it needed to make a change in service or be forced to raise taxes to cover the cost. The new contract is projected to save the county $125,000. A few people we talked to are concerned about how AmeriPro ambulances will handle the rural roads. And here's how officials responded.
All of those ambulances that we'll have there will all be two-wheel drive, as is standard across most of Kentucky. Even in inclement weather, they're able to respond generally without any issues.
Baptist Health said it respects the district's decision to choose a new partner. Details of that contract have not been released, so it's unclear how or if employees will be affected. We'll learn more on Monday when it's discussed at a public meeting. That's at 5 o'clock at the Henry County Judge Executive's office. Metro leaders want feedback from business owners and Louisvillians about plans to renovate the Belvedere downtown.
It's not in great shape. The Belvedere has been neglected by our city for decades.
Mayor Craig Greenberg addressing the community during the first of 3 sessions last night, saying there's a need to bring the Belvedere back to what he called its historic glory. The sentiment was echoed by several people in attendance.
The Belvedere Thunder of Louisville brings us all together, or the World Fest, as he mentioned, that those are events, Pride Fest and things. Those are events that bring us all together as one, in one big city. And so we want to make sure that stays what it is for our children to come.
Much of the funding for the project will come from the state and city government. There are 2 more community sessions this month, next Tuesday the 21st, then the 28th. We also have a link to the public survey on this story at WHAS11.com. Governor Andy Beshear spoke out for the first time about Brown-Forman's decision this week to cut hundreds of jobs. Beshear said this is a reaction to the new Trump administration. He said others in the industry may follow suit. And during Trump's first term, the governor said tariffs on bourbon had a multi-million-dollar impact on the industry, and Trump's upcoming term is set to be similar.
But there's no question that we see the bourbon industry incredibly worried about the impact of any tariffs that might come out of the Trump administration and the retaliation that we'd likely see. And that's me being the governor of Kentucky, talking about a signature industry that's important to us, and that's me telling you the truth.
Governor Beshear reiterated this is not along partisan lines, but rather him defending a vital aspect of Kentucky's economic growth. Indiana Governor Mike Braun is already explaining his budget priorities for the state. He suggested a 2% increase in tuition assistance every year in Indiana and universal choice scholarships, also known as the voucher program, for all families. School choice being a top issue for many Indiana legislators, Governor Braun wants to eliminate the tip tax, phase out tax on retirement, and have new sales tax holidays. He also wants to boost public safety, fund school safety, and state police salaries. A Grayson County, Kentucky man has serious injuries after he was hit by a car near Falls of Rough. The sheriff said the incident happened just after 5:30 Wednesday evening. Deputies said Christopher Tanner was standing in the middle of Kentucky 79 in a reflective vest as 2 people were attempting to pull a camper up his icy driveway. Police said Tanner was hit from behind by a car, which caused him to roll over that car. No charges were filed against the driver. The man suspected of shooting 5 people last month in West Louisville faced a judge this morning. Police arrested 39-year-old Abraham Bellata on Wednesday. The shootings happened on Garland Avenue, about 2 blocks from Victory Park. And according to court documents, he allegedly shot into a garage where police initially found 4 men who'd been shot. 2 of them died, then a 5th person was found several hours later. Bellata is facing several charges, including 2 counts of murder and 3 counts of first-degree assault. The judge called him a flight risk because he'd previously cut off his home incarceration bracelet. He's being held at Metro Corrections on $1 million bond. Looking ahead, you can expect some lane closures on the Sherman Mitten one more time starting next week, I should say. On Tuesday, the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet said it will conduct final inspections on the bridge, which will require single lane closures on both east and westbound lanes. It comes more than a month after crews finished work on the bridge's renewal project. The closures are set to run from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. through next Friday. And we now know the funeral arrangements for Shirley May Beard. She founded the longtime Smoketown restaurant Shirley May's Cafe. According to her sons, the visitation is set for next Friday from 5:30 to 8:30 at the Kentucky Derby Museum. Her funeral will be the next day at noon at Community Baptist Church on East Indian Hills. Her burial will follow at Cave Hill, and Beard's son says the visitation, funeral, and burial are open to everyone. She was 84 years old.